Alright, so for a recent video, I had the pleasure of being able to interview Nigel Marven on sea monsters, because the whole premise of the video was I was basically talking about sea monsters in Earth's past and present, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. Now, me and Nigel ended up talking about stuff unrelated to the video, so I decided to upload the interview separately so that footage didn't go to waste. Oh my god, I was nervous too, by the way, because like Nigel Marven is like a childhood hero of mine, so yeah, it was definitely nerve-wracking, but I think I did all right. I think I did, maybe.
You can hear me, can't you? Yeah.
Yep.
This is the one that's going on your YouTube, isn't it? So.
Yep.
We'll do some very good things for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's get started.
All right, yeah. So, essentially, what I'm doing is I'm doing a video on basically the sea creatures of Earth's past and present, and you being a zoologist and also working on sea monsters with Walking With Dinosaurs, you're the best guy to reach out to for this.
Oh, great.
Because you got the most experience. So I guess to start off, I want to go back in time for Earth's history and talk about some of, specifically with sea monsters, some of the sea creatures that lived in Earth's history. So when it came to sea monsters, you know, you traveled back to 7 deadliest seas. Were there any other dangerous seas that were worth noting, or you think that you guys covered all of them?
Yeah, and I think with sea monsters we got the best creatures, and lots of ones that I really enjoyed. You know, we met Hesperornis in the deadliest sea of all time. That was a bird with teeth,
yeah.
A bit like modern day cormorants. They propelled themselves through the water with their feet, but they were eaten in one mouthful by Xiphactinus, the bulldog fish. So this, you know, nickname for this was Hell's Aquarium, because there were some pretty exciting things there. And Xiphactinus could swallow these birds in one mouthful. And one of my prized possessions is a real fossil that I got in Los Angeles. I didn't find it, I bought it from a shop in Los Angeles. A real fossil that's 90% authentic of Xiphactinus. So,
oh, really?
That was a nice souvenir from me for the shooting of sea monsters. And also, awesome. Of course, Megalodon was one of the greatest predators that ever lived. That was much closer. We hominids were standing on their back legs when Megalodon was around, but I've got the jaws that were used in the series on the outside of my house. So,
wow.
The largest flesh-eating shark that ever lived. It would have been great to have seen Megalodon. Another one of my favourite creatures there that all the kids remember, all the people that love sea monsters, is Tanystropheus. That was the creature with the long neck, and physicists have done studies and found that you couldn't get a creature with a longer neck than Tanystropheus.
Oh, really?
And still catch fish. And of course, we had fun there because I caught it by the tail and it dropped its tail just like modern day lizards do. And paleontologists had found fracture lines in the tail. So we got lots of paleontological advice. I think maybe now the theory has changed that it couldn't drop its tail, but when we made the series, paleontologists were pretty sure that it could. So some great creatures there. Dunkleosteus, all the children love that, you know, with those great mouth parts for shearing through its prey. Everyone remembers the Eurypterids, the sea scorpions, the giant sea scorpion that bit me on the leg. You know, that was going very far back in time when the first creatures came out onto the land. So I think we covered all of the deadliest seas.
Oh yeah, definitely. Since you just talked about all of the deadliest seas that you visited in the show, if you could actually time travel to any of them, which one would you time travel to?
I think it would be the deadliest sea of all time. I'd like to. It's difficult though, that, because the one before had leads-ichthyes, those giant fish. I'd like to swim with those. I'd like to see a mosasaur, but I think most of them I could have seen in the deadliest sea of all time. So that was when there was Xiphactinus, Hesperornis, the the big plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs. So I think the main suite of marine reptiles. Lots of people think, of course, that these creatures are dinosaurs, which they're not. They're reptiles, marine reptiles. So I think most of them I could have seen in the deadliest sea of all time.
Now the thing is would you be able to make it out of there alive? Because it ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? They knocked me into the sea from the boat in Hell's Aquarium. Who knows? I'm hoping that it's a bit like with white sharks today, or any sharks. If they were out to get us, we couldn't go into the sea at all, because they've got a whole array of super senses. They can detect electricity. They can smell a drop of blood in a swimming pool of water. If they were out to get us, we couldn't escape. So I'm hopeful that most of those sea monsters wouldn't know what a human being was, particularly me, and and wouldn't eat me. But who knows? I mean, you've got as much chance of dying from being hit on the head by a coconut going on holiday than being eaten by a shark. So I'm hoping that's the same with sea monsters.
I mean, we really don't know with sea reptiles how opportunistic like they'd be, but most reptiles will eat just about anything that they can fit in their mouths. So
I'm sure. I say I wouldn't. I think I had an electric prod in the episode with the mosasaur to keep it away. I think I'd like those defense systems. When we did the megalodon episode, that was fun because we chose to do a circular cage, and the reason for that was if you're a turtle and you live in the southern United States, the same species that would live further north has a much more domed shell, and that's because if an alligator tries to bite it, the teeth slide off the carapace. So we thought, let's have some fun with this. And have a circular cage, so the megalodon teeth would slide off the outside of the cage. So that's why in sea monsters the megalodon cage is circular, not square like normal shark cages are.
That's really cool. That's actually really clever. So I guess on the topic of time travel, if there was any point in Earth's history you could time travel to, where would you go?
I'd like to go back to the not too far back in the past. I'd love to see a dodo.
Come on, Nigel, a dodo?
Or I'd like to go to New Zealand and see that there was a giant eagle there, Haast's eagle, that used to feed on elephant birds, or baby elephant birds at least. So to see those giant flightless birds and what ancient New Zealand looked like before the Maoris got there would be fantastic. And I say this eagle, I love birds of prey, so Haast's eagle, to see that would be fabulous.
So stuff that we would have been closer to actually coming
even I love penguins, and by the end of March 2025 I'll have seen all 18 species of penguins on Earth.
Oh wow.
Which I'm very excited about. But the ancestors of penguins were nearly as tall as you and I. So I'd love to see an ancestral penguin would have been good to see. They were giant birds, so that would be terrific. So I think not obviously we'd love to see dinosaurs, but I think because I've seen dinosaurs already, I'd like to just back not so far.
That's fair, yeah. No, I feel like there's a lot of animals that are kind of overlooked by the dinosaurs. Like, dinosaurs are cool, but then there's a lot of other creatures in Earth's history, like Diplocaulus, giant salamander with like a hammerhead. I don't know why, I just love it, and I wish I could see it.
I've seen depictions of that. That's an incredible animal. And Titanoboa would be quite good. I've seen animals, of course. Titanoboa would be fantastic. So, and some of the, in the age of crocodiles, crocodiles that lived on the land, and crocodiles that could sprint faster than a horse. The age of crocodiles, it would be quite nice to travel back and see some of that. I mean, I've seen Deinosuchus jumping out after dinosaurs, but it would be nice to see some of those really strange crocodiles.
Yeah. Caprosuchus had like teeth that were the size of a T-Rex's, but it was, I don't know, maybe just a bit bigger than a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. There were some really peculiar ones that would be nice to see.
Veering away from Earth's past, I wanted to talk about Earth's present. So, being a zoologist, what is the most bizarre ocean creature you've came across?
I haven't seen them very well, but obviously the ocean sunfish is amazing. Mola, a very primitive fish, like very round, and they come up. They're called sunfish because they come up to bask in the surface waters. That's an amazing looking creature. I've been lucky enough in Palau, not Palau. I've been lucky enough in the Philippines to be diving and see a nautilus.
Oh wow!
Surface. So, as you know, living fossils. To see a nautilus was, and that the shells are so beautiful, and you could see the tentacles and the eye. So many bizarre, sea creatures in the very deep, in the great depths. I mean, gulper eels and some of these bizarre anglerfish where the males are like parasites on the females and don't do anything. They're just basically a bag of sperm.
Oh, really?
Female when she needs them. So they've got a parasite on them, which is the male, not nothing else. So the male just becomes a sac that attaches to the female. So they're pretty bizarre. Fresher sharks, again, I saw those in the Philippines. Amazing, use their tails like a scorpion to stun fish. A shark with a really fantastic long tail. Greenland sleeper sharks, they can live for over 200 years. They live in cold water and they can swallow amazing things, and they've got like a parasite on their eye, so they can't see. The parasite eats the cells from their eye, so if you see one, it's got like a bizarre copepod parasite like a barnacle on its eye. So some really, really amazing things, marine creatures around today. And of course the blue whale, the largest animal that ever lived. People forget that it's much larger than a dinosaur. A blue whale, 100 feet long, 30 meters long, is what an extraordinary animal to see one. I've been lucky enough to see one, but the great whales are all fabulous.
That's a good thing they don't eat people.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. I don't think there's obviously records of orcas killing people in oceanariums, but I don't think in the wild there's ever a record of an orca killing a person. So that's great, but they're obviously extremely clever predators. And one on my wish list, I'd like to go to the Norwegian fjords in winter where they're feeding on herring, and you can go on trips and snorkel with orcas hunting herring, which would be a fantastic thing. And of course the orcas that beach themselves to get elephant seals in Patagonia that we've all seen in the wildlife films.
I don't understand why we put so much focus into exploring outer space, and people are like, oh, the aliens, stuff like that, when I feel like we have aliens in our ocean, and we should totally explore that more. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's only been very few video films of giant squid. I mean, giant squid are extraordinary, and when somebody manages, it would probably have to be with a remote underwater vehicle, but when somebody manages to film a real battle between a sperm whale and a giant squid, that would be truly. And there's lots of giant squids down there. I remember when I was at university, a scientist that was studying sperm whales got a bag full of squid beaks and threw them into the audience, and they'd come out of the poop of the sperm whale in the Azores. So they're diving deep and catching a lot of giant squid, but we just never see them because they're living in the abyssal depths.
And they're in the giant squids in the poles, right?
I think they're in quite a few seas, but when we found one that was washed up on a beach in New Zealand. So So they catch them in they're quite. I don't know whether they're all around the world, but they're in many of the seas of the world.
Oh, I might be thinking about the colossal squid, because I think that's down by Antarctica, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, I think you're right on that. Yeah, I'm thinking the giant squid, which is the main prey of sperm whales.
So the colossal squid might be even harder to film if it's
I'm sure.
in the depths of Antarctica.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Since we were talking about sea monsters, is there any modern day creature you would consider a true sea monster?
Yeah, I mean, crocodiles are always great. When I see some of the crocodiles, I've never seen a gharial, but to actually, what a monster that is, a very, very big crocodile. Not dangerous to people, but with that great long snout for sweeping through shoals of fish, and they're getting, like many of these things, endangered now. but gharials are very good. And what other ones? Tiger sharks. I mean, they're the garbage cans of the sea. Everything's been found inside their stomachs, from saddles to suits of armor to turtles.
Really?
They've got specialized teeth for slicing through the carapaces of turtles. So, and they've got stripes on their sides like a tiger. So they're a real sea monster. But of course, they're not really monsters, because none of them are out to get us. I mean, the biggest monsters are us, because we're killing millions of sharks for their fins.
Exactly.
So it's the biggest monsters in the sea are us, really. I mean, what we're doing to the seas with overfishing and all of the things that we do, and pollution and plastic pollution and microplastics and everything. It's
And even with sea monsters, all of the animals featured are just animals.
the biggest monsters of all. I've got to end now, but the biggest, nice thing to end on, the biggest monsters of all are the human race, for sure.
Yep.
So, but with young people like you loving paleontology and wildlife, things are changing to a great degree. So that's fantastic news. So, and I hope my programs encourage people to love the natural world, so we're not monsters anymore.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's a good note to end on. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
You asked very, very good questions, so it was lovely to speak to you, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, bye-bye.